What is going on, Mullen fans? Welcome back to the channel. Hey, just wanted to check in with you guys. Figured why not. This is not financial advice. It's just for your entertainment purposes. But I actually, in the last video, I told you I added a little to my long term. Today, I added a little bit more to my long term. I'm going to tell you why my theory is. I'm just going to create a little thesis. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Doesn't mean it's right. Don't take it as financial advice. Don't copy me. But anyway, what I was seeing was an RSI that was just completely oversold, and I was also connecting the dots with a 1 for 25 max option for reverse split is what Mullen has on the table. If it gets all the way down to 4 cents, that would make it worth $1. Are they going to be able to hold compliance for very long? Is that going to get David what he wants? I don't think so. So I figured, hey, at 9 cents, I'm risking 5 cents. I told you last time, I think I was in around 13.5 that I added a little to my position. And then today I added quite a bit more. One of those reasons we traded it like crazy whenever we were talking about it on the daily. It took a lot of risk off, and I figured at the end of the day, if I have to decide to sell for a loss at some point or take that L, you know, it wasn't painful because most of that risk was taken off the table. But I did add a little bit more risk in this sense because I thought, hey, if I just drag that average down quite a bit, since I am down quite a bit, maybe it'll get a spring back to the upside and be able to make my decision, what I do in the long term, a whole lot easier. I don't know how big of a pop this will get, but we are still trying to, what was looking like a breakout got sucked back down in. So another first fake breakout, second fake breakout. Third test, I'd like to see if it actually holds. So let's see if we can get back above that 9.5 cents, make a breakout here, and start pushing back to the upside. Maybe DM wants to be able to get this to some sort of logical price point before he would enact a reverse split. If he does enact the reverse split, I can't see him wanting to do it at 10 cents even, but you know, what do I know? I'm just here on the sidelines trying to make the best decisions that I can. But we were watching our RSI grind line that we have down here where it tends to bounce off of. If you guys drew that up from back in the day, had a pretty strong dip below, which we've seen the dips below before, which get followed up by a decent little pop to the upside. So I was watching the dips below that grind trend line. Right now it's trying to reclaim it. If it can, then maybe we'll get our breakout. If not, then we're probably going to get rejected by that trend line again. But you can see it's fallen considerably below our trend. So to me, that said, hey, this might be an opportunity to dip my toes in for just the longer position, and maybe it's going to completely burn me. That's why I say don't copy me. Make an educated decision what you want to do. I do think a reverse split's on the table, and I do think it's going to get hammered after that if we don't get some solid news, production, everything else going forward. But I did see in the news that, hey, Mullen is actually filing a lawsuit against somebody this time instead of having the suits filed against them. That was an interesting change of events, so let's see if anything becomes of that. I don't know how great it's going to be or anything. And I was looking at the market cap, and I'm like, man, with the money that DM has on hand, he could almost do a share buyback if he wanted to. Maybe a share buyback, drive the price up a little bit. He could almost buy the whole float at this point. But we're just going to keep an eye on what it does, if it makes the breakout, if it doesn't make the breakout. It's at 9:29 right now, and it's 1:28 market time. So we're getting back into bullish territory on the shorter time frame, and we have a long way to go on the longer time frames. But maybe people think this is a decent scalp opportunity, even if they just want to swing it or, you know, day trade it for fractions of a penny. It's always an option. So we'll see what, I guess, big money wants to do with it, what DM wants to do with it from here. And we'll just keep riding it. But like I said, I mean, 4 cents has to be the bottom, right? Before a 1 for 25 reverse split to even be a buck. So in my head, 4 cents is the bottom. I'm within 5 cents of that. That's where that number comes from. again, I could be wrong. It could be 0 for all I know. Who knows? Let's look at the ortex while I got you guys. So it's saying it's 100% utilization. I don't know about that. Cost per hour average is relatively cheap, 11.67%. Live short interest at 11.46%, and that's 216.05 million. We know we have a massive float out there. Something has to change with the float in my eyes sooner or later. It's just ridiculously large, but who knows? At some point, maybe everything will come together and we'll get some natural price movement, but I'm not relying too much on getting a huge win or a huge gain off of this. I mean, even if it goes back to the 1618, we're at 13 cents. That's not too impressive if you were not protecting yourself or flipping this thing back in the day. But if you're a first newcomer and it does get there, yeah, obviously that's a pretty decent trade. At the same time, we don't know if it's going to get there. We got a lot that we're working against. There could be some possible news updates, hopefully by end of March, if we can hit any of those deadlines and get some nice PR coverage out on that. Not a whole lot of days left, not a whole lot of trading days left, and we'll see if it comes. But hey, take it one day at a time. Hopefully you guys are making some good decisions, or at least hedging yourself in some way, shape, or form, or playing everything else out there in the market that's making some money just to make your days in muln a little bit easier. But like I said, one day at a time, one step at a time, one channel at a time. So if we can get that breakout, be watching for 989, from there 1020, from there 10.5, and then from there 11.50, and let's see if we can get back to 13 cents. I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, stay golden, people, and may your accounts stay green.